Hi, my name is Bridget and I'm representing the culture of Uganda. Today I'll show you how to make a traditional dish from Uganda called Kalo or millet bread. It's usually served with a goat meat stew and leafy green vegetables. So the first thing I'm going to do is I will boil the meat. The reason you boil the meat is because goat's meat is pretty tough sometimes, so it needs to be tenderized. And to work a little faster, I'm using boiling water. So some people like to slice their onions. I like mine diced. It's a matter of preference, really. Okay, so I'll stir the meat a little bit. So it's doing well. So when it starts turning color and you can see that you don't see any red in the meat, then you prepare to drain out the water and set it aside. That water is the same soup that you're going to use as stock when you're making the stew. Now that I have my onions ready and it looks like the goat's meat is slightly cooked, not very cooked, but slightly cooked. I don't see any red anymore. What I'll do is I'm going to drain out the stock. So what I do is I'll leave the meat in the pot, let it dry and kind of brown in a little bit before I add some vegetable oil. The more onions you use, the thicker the stew becomes. So some people like their stew really thick, others don't. I'll prepare the tomatoes now. Okay, so now you can tell it's actually dry and starting to brown in a little bit. So this is the time to introduce a bit of vegetable oil. This is about 1 pound of goat's meat, so I will start off with 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. And make sure that all the meat is well doused in the oil. And then I will add my onions. So what you want to do is have the onions cook. They kind of change color. That's when you know that they are cooked and it's time for the tomatoes. So I will add some tomatoes and save some for the vegetables. So once I'm done, sometimes putting on the lid helps the tomatoes cook faster. So I'll do that for now. Okay, so as we can see now, the tomatoes are really done now. They look done. So it's time for us to introduce our different spices. If you go into any Ugandan household, one spice you're going to find is this curry powder. And this is the point where you add in all kinds of flavors that you like. Some people like masala spices. Some people like to put like paprika. Any spices that you like, this is the time to introduce them. I am going to introduce the stock that I made earlier on. And mix it properly, put back the lid and then let it simmer for a while. For the kalo, what I need is the millet flour, obviously. And with the millet flour, I mix it with a little bit of cassava flour. Why we do that is because the millet can be really thick and you need the final product to be a little bit elastic. There's no any added ingredient, it's just 2 ingredients. The millet flour and the cassava in hot water. And for millet, we like to use, if you have a wooden spoon, the wider you have, the better, because you're going to be mixing it properly. So that's what we do. We introduce the millet flour in the water and then start to mingle. Millet is consumed in various forms, for example, as a breakfast cereal or as an entree or main meal, such as what we're going to see today. It is full of nutrients and it's good for digestive health and considered a superfood. This is one dish that you'll find in all parts of the country. We serve it in a basket. The name is akibo. Get a little bit of flour, put it in the basket, and then shake it. The reason you do that is because you don't want the millet to stick onto the basket. The last thing I have to prepare is the vegetables. So you can use any kind of leafy greens. So you can use spinach, you can use kale, you can use, this is rapine, whatever leafy greens you like. So I'll have just a drop of vegetable oil. I think this is done. This looks done.